What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. And today's video, I'm going to be going over how to clean your AR-15. One of you guys reached out to me on Instagram, which is a great place to reach out to me. If you guys are not following me on Instagram, there will be links so you guys can go follow me on Instagram. And one of you guys reached out to me and asked me if I can make this video. So thank you for being a subscriber and thank you for commenting this. It was a really good video idea. So I have this Diamondback DB15 AR. You guys have seen it in many of my videos. So let's go over how I clean it. There are different ways that people clean their guns, but we're going to start off with the most important step, and that is making sure that the rifle is clear. Now, I have this rifle, sitting in my house. I know it's clear, but for this video, let's go ahead and make sure that it is clear. It is clear, and the safety is on. So you just want to make sure that it is clear before you do any work on it, and any live ammunition is moved to a safe area, either in your room or in a different room. It's depending on how you feel about that. All right. So the first thing, make sure that your bolt is dropped. You can't have your bolt locked to the rear and to disassemble your gun. You have these pins here. These are the body pins. These are what hold your upper receiver to your lower receiver. You're going to want to push. You have one here, one here. So you push here and push here. Now, depending on the stiffness or the retention on these pins, you might want to use a tool like a screwdriver. So you want to take those pins, push them out, and they will come out on the other side. You'll have one here, and where's the other one? The other one's right here. So we're going to just push those body pins all the way through. Now, I don't know if this is like this on all AR-15s, but on mine, they do not fully come out. I'm not sure if on other guns they do fully come out, but if they do come out, I would just suggest pushing them back flush, and here on this side, you want to push that flush, so you don't have them sticking out and there's not the potential to snap them off. So this is what your lower receiver will look like taken up down, and then this is your upper receiver. So take the charging handle and pull, and your BCG, or your bolt carrier group, that rides back and forth feeding bullets into the chamber, and it also has your firing pin in it. You're going to want to take that out. So you want to pull, and this will just slide out, and we'll set that to the side. And then you'll take out your charging handle. This is my Radiant Raptor charging handle. It's an ambidextrous charging handle, and I use this because I am a left-handed shooter. And then you'll have your stripped upper, and you'll just set this down to the side, and we have our stripped lower. All right, so now let's go over some of the products that you will need to clean your gun. So number one is this is the lubricant that I use. This is hops or hopes. I'm not exactly sure how you pronounce it, but this is just a type of high quality lubricant. It's a high viscosity lubricant for your gun. Now, what are some considerations when looking for a lubricant is what is its cold temperature ratings and its heat temperature ratings. Your gun gets hot when you're shooting, and you want to kind of see what the temperature rating is to see at what levels is this oil going to cook off your gun. Now, if you're just going to be shooting a massive amount of ammo, I guess it doesn't really matter, because either way, you're going to be cooking oil off your gun. AR-15s are guns that like to be wet. These are wet lubricant guns. That's how I like to describe them as. These things run wet. A lot of people don't like adding a lot of oil to their guns because they are afraid that it's going to gum up the gun, it's going to make it run poorly, but that's not as much of an issue when we're going to be on the range shooting. Now, if you're in an adverse environment, like a military environment, you're in the Middle East, and you're in dusty environments, and that's something that you need to consider a little more than if you're going to be on a flat range. Keep your gun lubricated. Number 2, paper towels, white ones. Why do we need paper towels? Well, we're going to be wiping down this gun quite a bit, and also some of these parts inside of this gun are small. You have small parts inside of your bolt carrier. When we take it down, you're going to want to take those and set them on something white so you're not losing your parts. And then Q-tips. Q-tips are great for getting into small little areas, for adding oil or cleaning. So let's start with the lower receiver. We'll clean this up and then we will go to add oil back. So here are some key things to think about when adding oil and lubricating your lower receiver. Where are contact points? Well, we've got our bolt carrier group and the bolt rides here. So this goes back into the buffer tube. So if you didn't know this, your buffer tube, this is your buffer tube. This is the buffer tube itself. You have a spring in here with the buffer tube's weight. You can get them different weights and it will change the recoil pattern or the harshness of your recoil. So let's show you guys what this is. So this here, I kind of keep some oil on the face of this, but this pushes in. So to take this out, you want to push this in, and then right here you have a detent. So you're going to want to push that in, push that little thing down, and then your buffer tube spring should just come right out. All right, there we go. So this is what I'm talking about. This is the little weight. I don't know, this one's on here pretty tight, so I don't typically remove this from the spring, but this will get carbon buildup on it, and you kind of want to keep some lubricant on it. So we're going to wipe that down real quick. I'm going to take this paper towel, and I would suggest grabbing 3 or 4 sections of paper towel, and we're going to take that and we're just going to wipe this off. And we'll probably get some carbon buildup on here, or we'll get something to come wipe off. Now, I keep my guns pretty clean. How often should you be cleaning your guns? Well, you can do after every time you shoot it. You don't have to clean it every time you shoot. I typically clean between 1,000 to 1,500 rounds. Maybe if you want to be a little more thorough with it, every 500 rounds. But you know, after every time you go out and shoot, definitely re-add oil, or if you're going to be shooting a lot on the range, add oil as you go along. And I'm going to clean the face of the bolt. I'm also going to clean the spring. So this rides back into the buffer tube as you're firing, so you're going to want to keep oil on here. Gases also will get pushed back into this tube, so if you want to be extra thorough, I would get your rag, run it through there just a little bit, keep it nice and clean. So this, we didn't get too much dirtiness on here, but we did get a little bit. So I'm going to take some oil, I'm going to put it on here, and I'm going to just run oil along this spring. Now, if you're worried about getting oils on your skins and stuff, wear gloves, but I'm not too concerned about that. I've done way worse with putting chemicals on myself, working on my vehicles. And then also add just a little drop of oil right to the face of that. I put just the tiniest drop, and I'm going to just spread that around just to have that be wet as well. Also, when working on your lower receiver, this is a high friction point. So your bolt carrier goes back across the top of this hammer and will go back into here. I don't want to add a lot of oil to the actual firing mechanism of the gun if the gun is functioning smoothly. All right, but just add a little bit of oil here and just kind of, you know, spread it out. So we're going to add a drop of oil here, and we're going to spread that out right across the face of the hammer and right across the top of the hammer, specifically where it gets contacted. Also here, you can add some more oil across here and just kind of get it down in there. And if you want to add 1 drop to the spring on the hammer, if you can aim your little squirt bottle there, or if you have a bottle with a needle tip and you can actually get really in there and be more precise with it, definitely do that. You can wipe down these areas if you see a high buildup on these areas, but for the most part, I don't worry about it too much because this lower receiver doesn't get too dirty. Now, if it gets really dirty, you're going to want to take this completely apart, and there'll probably be better videos on that than what I'm going to make. But if you guys would like me to make a video like that, leave a comment in the comment section below, and I will. That is your lower receiver done. You don't really have to worry about it anymore, so we'll set this aside. Let's talk about the upper receiver. Upper receiver. So you have your barrel, which is something you'll want to keep clean, and since there is no thing attached to this, you can look through it. So if you have like a light, you can look through and see how clean your barrel is. You can also see the twist in your barrel, which is a cool thing to look at. Areas to clean. Obviously, we're going to want to clean. I'm not sure how to show this to you. We're going to want to clean in here. So we're going to take our paper towel and wipe this down thoroughly. All right? Already, very dirty area. This is going to be a highly dirty area of your gun. Where your charging handle rides, you're going to want to clean that out. Your charging handle also is something that you're going to want to wipe off. As you can see, there are friction points on your charging handle. Take mind and take note to those areas, because those are areas you're going to want to have lubricated, because those are areas that get worn. So just wipe down. Now the Radiant's high quality, and so their finish will stay for quite a while before you start getting terrible wear points. But just something to think about. Keep these lubricated. So we're going to wipe down the inside of the upper receiver. Now you have back here, let me see what's the best way to show you guys this, if I can't, right there. You see that right there? That is called, I call it the star. You want to clean that because that's where your bullet will sit. That's where the face of the bullet, the back of the bullet sits. That's where your bolt carrier group face here. This is the also the star. That's what that sits into. So you're going to want to clean that on your upper receiver. Now, in a gun cleaning kit, it might come with one of these, and you can attach that to one of the cleaning supplies that comes with it, and you can actually fit that right into the star and clean it. But if you don't have that, not a big deal. Grab a couple of these Q-tips and use Q-tips to clean. So we'll clean the inside of that with a Q-tip. There we go. And as you can see, very dirty Q-tip. And then we'll just dispose of these Q-tips. I know some people will be like, clean it until your Q-tip comes back out white, but like, look guys, we're not gonna get that crazy into it. And I'm going to add this attachment here. So this attachment allows me to run a piece of paper towel, or with the kit, it'll probably come with a little fabric piece. So we're gonna wanna tear off a little corner of paper and feed that through like a needle, piece of thread through the eye of a needle. So we'll get that there. Something like that. And if you've played airsoft, it's just like you're cleaning an unjamming rod. That's essentially what this is. And we'll just run that until it comes out the end. Kind of twist it along with that. Not very dirty. And that is the barrel clean. So now when I look through this at the light, perfectly clean interior of my barrel. So that makes me happy. Now let's add oil back to the gun. Again, with those harder to reach areas, take your Q-tip, add a spritz of oil to it. And guys, cleaning your gun can be like therapeutic, so put on some of your favorite music while you do this. And that is a well-oiled upper receiver. So we are done with the upper, and I'm now done with this application of this paper towel, and we'll move over to a second one. Now, also with that, add oil to your charging handle, and there you go. That's oil applied. So we can set that aside as well. Now we're on to the final and the most difficult or time-consuming, or I guess the part that most people don't like to really mess with too often, and that is your bolt carrier group. Now, look at your bolt carrier group. You will see wear points on it, especially if you shoot a lot. If this is a new gun, maybe not. Check for wear points. Those are the areas. So if you're just doing a quick lube, those are the areas you want to focus on adding oil to. Otherwise, just take it apart and clean it. So this is your bolt carrier group. You have a cotter pin right here. To remove it, either use a little needle or a tool. I have this little hook here, or just be a man and get your fingernails in there and pull it out if you can. But I'm going to use the tool. Take it, pull out your cotter pin. Clean off your cotter pin. People, for some reason, don't clean these off, and they get very dirty. It helps extend the life of your cotter pin. I'm wiping mine down right now. Look at that. That's just off that cotter pin. Just clean it. Now, this stuff in here will come out. So, first you have your firing pin, which will be loose now. This is why we want to set these on a white object, because you have the little things like the cotter pin, your firing pin. This little plate up here, I'm not sure if you guys can see that, that will come out. So you'll want to turn it until it moves out. So just finesse with it, and it should fall right out. And then that'll come out. So these are all the parts we'll want to clean. This, and all the other parts that I showed you. So we'll set them all down and we'll work on them one by one. Number one, the firing pin. I have the firing pin on here. It's very dirty, so we'll wipe that completely down. If you use a good oil, you won't have to use anything like a cleaner or a brake cleaner or whatever you use to clean it. It should just wipe right down. As we can see, I'm not sure. There we go. Very dirty. So just wipe it down thoroughly. Check the tip of the firing pin. Make sure it's not bent and there's no deformations on your firing pin. You want a clean firing pin. So that's a pretty clean firing pin, and I'm pretty happy with that. I haven't done a super deep clean on the bolt carrier group in quite some time, so we'll just want to clean that. There we go. Next, we'll grab this. This might have high carbon buildup on it, so we'll clean this off and really focus on making sure it's clean. I don't know the technical terms for these parts, so if you guys do know, or if you're being triggered by the fact that I'm not using the correct term, I'm sorry. But I don't know all that stuff. This is a used gun, so it's not going to be perfect. We have these little rings. We're going to make sure we put lubricant on these rings. All right. All right. And I think the final pieces are this. Just take that, wipe it off, clean it. That is clean now. Set that down on the white pad, and we have this. So we're going to just wipe this down, the main portion of the bolt carrier group. Going to make sure it's clean. We're going to get inside of here, clean in here. And we're going to grab another Q-tip and clean the harder to reach areas, like maybe inside of here, if you can't get in there, inside the tube, inside this end of the tube. Yeah, that's really dirty in there. Now we're going to reapply lubricants. I'm going to keep these parts well lubricated. Like I said, these guns like running wet. You have a dirty star, clean this as well. I made sure that it was clean. It looked pretty clean to me, so I didn't have to do too much on that. So let's put this back together. So, one, gonna want to grab this. We made sure those rings were cleaned, and we're gonna want to put it in. So you have this notch right here. You're gonna want to line that up with the hole, and that is where this sucker slides in. So if it doesn't fit the one direction, flip it over. There we go. Got it in. All right. There we go. Boom. See that? Now we got it in. Now I'm gonna want to add the firing pin. Drop down in here. So put it in, and then keep this in, push to the rear, and add that firing pin in. And your firing pin should push to the point where you see it there. You see the little silver end of the firing pin? Make sure you can see that. So that's why we push this back, so you can see the end of the firing pin. Now, our final step is to add this cotter pin back. So you're going to want to pinch that together and then slide it in. Just finesse with the firing pin, the cotter pin, until it sits flush in there. And there it is, completely flush, as you can see. And there you go. This is a fully assembled bolt. Now it's just time to put your gun back together, and we should be done. Boom. Press it in until you hear the click. Boom. That's together. And now, literally, just slap your upper back down onto your lower. And there you go. And there we go. And that is how you clean and lubricate your Diamondback or your AR-15. Now, if you have an AK-47, this video was absolutely worthless to you, because those don't need to be cleaned. Alright guys, if you found this video helpful in any way and you've watched till the end, comment down in the comment section below. Thank you for making it to the end. I will catch you guys in the next video. Hopefully you guys found this informative. Peace out.